This is the Ruckus and The Menace.
Challenge accepted. No.
Oh no! We suck again!
I'm getting confused. What game are you calling?
I'm calling both games!
It is caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! Kansas City!
There you go.
There it is.
There's a winner.
Look at that.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 149 of the Ruckus and The Menace podcast. Or just Ruckus and The
You
Menace.
were about to do it, weren't you?
Yeah. I am Ruckus, always calls him a Ruckus.
And I'm Ruckus the Menace.
And in this episode, we will go over our starting lineup. The Lights, Camera, Action, also known as LCA for short. Our Good, Bad, and Ugly. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Our power rankings for the episode. And then our color commentary. And then what's not our bingo card for this year. And then our stud and dud. Spennis, you ready to roll?
Yeah, this has been kind of good so far. And I see that the new changes have kind of been taken in a little well, and trust me, there are going to be more coming. And actually, Ruckus did miss one element that we are adding. I don't know if it's still. Oh, that's why. That's why. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna reopen that here. All right, but to kind of kick this off here, we're gonna kick off with a little bit of channel news. So yeah, how we normally were getting into our every other for the summer, that has now wrapped up.
Over.
So yes, this is over. We are now back to a weekly recording as we prepare for the NFL season. However, due to some other circumstances that are along the way, our schedule leading up to the NFL preview is not going to be as seamless as we had once thought. So, we are recording this week as the last one before the NFL preview. Then we have the next 2 weeks. This will be the first half of the NFL preview, where we will have the South and the North. Then we will have a week off due to first off, me being out of town for some business or business outside of podcast related material, and Ruckus getting older. He's
birthday.
He's starting to catch up. He's starting to catch up, but he's not quite a member of the 30-30 club yet.
The Dirty 30s.
Yeah. Then, after that week off, our NFL preview will conclude with the East and the West. And once more, before the NFL season starts, we are taking off for Labor Day, for the Labor Day week, as Ruckus will be on vacation and I once again will be out of town on some business. And Week one recaps. Ruckus will return, but we will not be able to record the night of his return. So we are going to air everything a day late. So podcast will air a day late on the first week of the NFL after the first week of the NFL season. That episode will release before Ruckus's Super Bowl run, his Week 2 Super Bowl run, which I believe is going to be on that. He'll probably have Thursdays as he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we're back to normal. After that, we should be back to normal. Ruckus, I will let you go ahead and start the transaction log.
All right, so for our starting lineup, we have Phil Rivers retiring as a Charger. Then we then have the Honey Badger retiring all of a sudden today as we're recording.
On the eve of training camp.
And a coworker of mine joked that every time Justin Reed tries to join the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, they were teammates at LSU. Tyrann would go to other teams. So, like, Justin Reed was on the Texans, so was Tyrann Mathieu at one point. Then Tyrann Mathieu goes to the Chiefs, and Justin Reed is just stuck in Houston. And then all of a sudden, Justin Reed goes to the Saints after Matthew does, and the rest is history. But anyways, my coworker wanted to see them play together.
Oh, and the point I was also going to go with this as a little bit of a joke. As far as that would go along, the Honey Badger didn't care.
Other than that, Dollar Dame, also known as Dame Time.
Wow! How did that just sail over your head?
Dame Dollar. Dame Dollar, also known as Dame Lillard. It's Dame time. It's time for him to return to Portland. And also time for CP3, also known as Chris Paul, back to the Clippers, where he'll probably be a bench guy and then get hurt and then serve probably 6 months of just not playing, and then maybe the Clippers get into the playoffs. We'll see. And then Furious George, a.k.a. George Karlaftis, gets extended for a 4-year deal. And the same goes for Trey Smith, I believe. They both got big deals, so we're waiting on McDuffie.
Yeah, I think we went over the Trey Smith deal last week, so that was also, it was just Karlaftis that had gotten extended. But yet, it still baffles me that you did not get where I was going with that Honey Badger didn't care joke.
When was this?
Like, have you, like, when you were talking about the Honey Badger retiring and all of a sudden where you were saying Justin Reed was trying to go through, I said it was at that point that the Honey Badger didn't care. Honey Badger don't care.
All right.
You had not seen that YouTube video? I am going to have to show you that after the episode is all said and done.
Yeah, that went...
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't take much.
Yep. All right. Lights, camera, action.
Ow! What? You just took that on the chin. You just took that on the chin.
I'm ready to move on, goddammit.
Yeah, I know we're good to go. I just was...
I don't really care at the end of the day.
I'm more in shock than anything else.
I'll tell you what. All right. Lights, camera, action. What are we watching? What are we playing? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
I'll let you go.
All right. So I've been watching Mr. Robot recently. I tried watching it like when I was younger, like in high school, I think, and just didn't get onto it. Because I think at that time I was watching Breaking Bad, and that took over my life for a good while. But I got back into it recently just to listen in, because it's one of those shows where you can just have it in the background while you're doing other shit. I like the story and what's going with it. And Rami Malek, the guy that also was in Bohemian Rhapsody and many other movies. It's a good show. It's about a guy that hacks a network or many other networks to like try to get the Big Brother down, in a sense. It's a good show. I haven't seen all of it, but I'm slowly creeping in. I think there's 4 seasons left. Speaking of what has 4 seasons, though, I'm gonna probably try and watch Jeremy Allen White's The Bear. Jeremy Allen White being the main star of the show, being the chef and all. I was trying to,
Carmy. Yeah, Pete
yeah,
Carmy.
Carmy, yeah. That show has been pretty damn good. I like it. I like it for the chaos and just the in general random flare-ups that happen with the characters really get stressed out and stuff. It's just funny to me. But other than that,
Sidebar.
I'm gonna. That'll
I
probably
was
be
gonna say
something I watch
sidebar.
later.
Sidebar. You know that he's also got a. He's also in a future movie coming out where he's actually going to play the boss, as in Springsteen.
I think I might have heard about that, but I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure.
I
I saw
actually
he was
saw
in a
the-
movie with Zac Efron though, like a while back.
Yeah, I saw the preview. I saw a preview for that Springsteen one, and oh my goodness, I think it looks like he's gonna nail it, and that may be one that I was thinking out of nowhere that I might potentially go and see in the future. But
I loved him as Lip in
Metro.
Shameless.
Yeah,
And then as far as playing, really nothing new, but I'm really hyped, and I'll probably say this for the next couple weeks. I'm hyped for the new Battlefield 6 beta. They're revealing the actual game footage on Thursday, I believe, and we'll see how the beta is received. But also, something that comes out sooner, there's a zombies game that I played for a while, and it's not Call of Duty. Killing Floor 2 I played for a good while I was in high school. I also played a little COD Zombies. Who didn't love COD Zombies back in the day? Better than what it is now, but there's a new Killing Floor game coming out called Killing Floor 3. It comes out Thursday/Friday. It was delayed to now because I think they were originally having it launch in March, but it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Anyways, Bennis, I'll hand it off to you.
okay, so my better half and I have found really kind of nothing new outside of what's already been mentioned before as far as what we're watching together. As far as on my own, I have expanded a little further into quarterback. And I also over the weekend decided, oh, I'm gonna go see the new Superman. David Cornsweet plays this incredibly. James Gunn has put this Superman in a truly relatable, vulnerable state that makes this Superman compared to others really, really, really convincing. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane is really good. Nick Holt as Lex Luthor. Nathan Fillion as the Green Lantern. So James Gunn is now starting to construct a little bit of what a potential Justice League could look like with some of this. But it is actually it's a really interesting movie. It does not go into the origin story of Superman very much at all. It is told in a very much a side way with a little introduction clip about it. Like really just like a text bar. And it focuses solely on the actual story. So I surprisingly liked it. 2 hours and 9 minutes is a really good pacing for the film. So it doesn't feel like it drags all that much considering. So yeah, it's a Superman movie that actually has good potential to hold up. Ruckus, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just listening in.
Yeah, I'm like it sounds like you're belching your way through.
I'm just kind of like, all right, when's the part
But-
where I actually care? But
I was trying to give you space. I was trying to give you space to work through it. But
I haven't
mean,
seen Superman, and I don't really care.
Dude, I think if you get I think you give this a chance if you manage. What I'm playing right now, I am continuing College Football 26 at the moment. Potential Dynasty mode idea is on the way. I have now figured out the team that I'm probably going to start on.
BYU.
Or actually, no. Granted, it is in the same time zone, though. I actually am looking at starting with the Colorado State Rams.
All right.
Good. Pipeline is the toughest point, but I find that I'm enjoying their air raid offense and being able to play as them and working your way through. You still got some juniors that you can kind of try and keep around. I'd be starting it out the same way as an offensive coordinator. But then instead of staying at James Madison like I did last year for year 2, my goal is to try and continue the climb and go straight for a head coaching gig after the first season is up. But another game that potentially I think could hit a future segment that we have, I have officially started Split Fiction with a friend of mine who I haven't played a game with him in years, but it's not for a lack of wanting to play a game with him. It was more so just life happens. But we kind of got reconnected over my brother-in-law's tattoo shop preparing to open just a town over. He was there. I showed up to kind of support. And we kind of got to talking, reconnected after a while, and we're already about a third of the way through the game in just 2 sessions. So this is going to be something that is going to continue until I finish, and then I am likely going to be starting down the way Wuchang Fallen Feathers as kind of trying that out to see if it'll hold up. I may start looking at some reviews on that when it gets a little closer time before I actually dig in. But I think that's going to be an interesting game to consider. And then I've really got like my future timetable of things I want to eventually get my hands on so that I can be at my max preparedness for January when I go back onto Two Nerds for a game of the year.
Yep.
So yes, I am still in that mode.
Is Split Fiction that game that was made by the It Takes Two crew and The Way Out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Hazelight Studios. And yes, Hazelight is becoming a studio that when you see their name on a game, you know it's going to be good. They are becoming a studio of that nature. And trust me, there are studios for me with that it's becoming fewer and further between. Naughty Dog is still on my good graces for now. Sucker Punch is on my good graces. But beyond that, like, it's limited. But we now can officially move on to the Eastwood segment of our good, bad, and the ugly.
All right. All right. What is good this week, Spinnis?
All right. The good this week. The DOGG, Snoop Dogg, has now put investment into an English championship team. He has set himself in Swansea City. And with the Swans, he actually can face Ryan Reynolds' owned Wrexham for potential promotion, as both of those teams are in the league that is right there below the Premier League. And Ruckus, this is how do you feel about this?
I feel like it's warranted in a sense. There'll be people that'll be like, "Oh, okay, he should have gotten more this or that." And the more I talk about it and not actually say the man's name, the more I prolong this episode. But the bad this week is Rashee Rice sentenced for 30 days of prison time and a 5 years probation. He can serve those days throughout the 5-year probation period. So, I wonder how that goes if like they count days during the off season as those days that you could serve the time, or if you had to do.
I'm pretty sure that would end up being the case. Like he can kind of work his way. Like it's gonna feel like longer than what it probably truly is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they're definitely giving him a lot more liberty in when he can serve those days, simply because of his time of the heavy requirements of travel that come with being an NFL player.
Yeah. So TLDR, Rice and SMU teammate Teddy Knox caused a multi-car crash and fled the scene of the crime. So if you want to gauge that, and then also look at what he got, so 30 days prison time and 5 years probation. I would say that's
it feels like a slap on the wrist, but I think the probation and kind of that stretching out of that is probably where the length is going to kick in.
Also, the fact that I think it's good that he turned himself in. He didn't just yes, he fled the scene, but later on he was like, okay, yeah, like I definitely screwed up, and that's where I kind of see the 5-year probationary period, so that if he does screw up again, it just equals more problems in general.
Yeah,
but it is a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, it's a slap on the wrist, but because he actually confessed to it and everything else, that the slap on the wrist that truly came about, it's still heavy, but it's not as harsh as what it could have been if he didn't.
You know what is harsh though? A publisher known not very well anymore compared to what it used to be. And we're talking about Ubisoft. The Ubisoft CEO responded to the Stop Killing Games movement. For people that don't really follow video games or really follow just in general the culture of it, or just watch TV or live under a rock, Stop Killing Games is an initiative where they're trying to limit or really make it a set in stone thing with the publishers to say, hey, yes, this game could be an online service game or a game that is supposed to be played for many years to come, but it doesn't do well, so they don't want to fund it enough because it failed. I feel like opinions will strike among others, but some people will be like, oh my god, I love that game, that's great, but why did they kill it? Like, you just, in a sense, took the people's money and rug pulled it later whenever it wasn't good. So what they're trying to do is eliminate the rug pull and maybe come to a consensus with whoever is listening over with publishers like Ubisoft and other things. Ubisoft is more known because the whole point was back in the day, The Crew, a racing game, they killed the servers for that, and the game was not playable after that because it was online only. And that's the problem, because it could have been used as an offline experience, or you could have had someone host a server. And yeah, that takes a little bit of effort, but it's better than just killing off the game entirely, because you never know if that game is still in shelves at thrift stores or at your local GameStop. You never know.
Yeah. It's like games. I understand to a certain degree of sunsetting a game. But if the game is an online only, I believe that there should be an avenue for those that still enjoy the game to be able to maximize in the full experience of it. If
For
you are
example,
trying-
like RuneScape or Club Penguin, for example, or Toontown, to name a few. Go ahead,
Oh.
Spence.
Scape is definitely the big one because they even were bringing back classic RuneScape to kind of bring that feel in. However, it's one of those things where Ubisoft has been out of my good graces for quite some time. I mean, do I manage to still kind of like dabble into a Ubisoft game whenever I can get my hands on one and feel okay with it for a little while? Yes. But Ubisoft does like I said, like they basically will kill a game because of it not doing well. But then they also are saying that microtransactions are a way to make the experience better.
Which is
Excuse me.
That's very
Yeah, no.
that's
it's better
subjective.
It's better for their pockets. It's better for their pockets.
The
but
thing
at
that
the
this
same
is
time, the same
Go ahead.
token, the shoe's gotta go on the other foot. Consumers are not wanting that. Gamers are not wanting that.
and the problem.
There's a reason why the potential game of the years left Ubisoft, started his own studio with a passion project, and that game now pretty much
What?
now it known as Clair Obscure Expedition 33 is sticking it to the man in Ubisoft. Ubisoft, and then after all this has come along, is not doing itself any favors for the good graces of the gamer. It's like Ubisoft is not so much killing games, it's almost like they're killing themselves.
Yeah, especially because, like, so even before, like, the controversy with the Star Wars Outlaws and how it was not running very well or required hardware that was more advanced than what most people have in their rigs as far as computers for PC. Another problem I have with just, like, the games as a service model is you bring a developer that's more known for, like, games that could be an offline experience if they wanted to be, rather than just being online, like Rocksteady with the Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, and that one flopped hard, and then Warner Bros. Was like, "Oh shit! Well, we put too many eggs in one basket. So what do we do now instead of making better games?" Like, they ended up killing the engine that they used for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, which is like a system where if you don't defeat the one boss, he just gets promoted up the ranks, and they bring in a new guy kind of system.
Their Nemesis system,
Mhm.
which then on top of that, they trademarked themselves locking any sort of progress that somebody could even give headway to in making that for their game no longer a thing because it's under their patent.
And last thing to add for Ubisoft, they're the first quadruple A gaming publisher to make a crap game that was delayed for about 10 years. That was supposed to be wasn't it supposed to be the successor of Black Flag or something better than that?
It was Skull and Bones.
Even though Black Flag, reviewed by many, said that it was a lot better than Skull and Bones, and it was delayed for so long. Another problem with Ubisoft also is just they rush games. And also they try to add this whole like skin of, okay, we're gonna make the operating system the same for pretty much any game whatsoever, and we'll just confuse the shit out of the player that just wants a unique experience and not the menu that they've seen for like every other game. Like imagine, because like there's some games where it works. Like with Spider-Man, with the Insomniac, they use the same kind of interface for like the pause menus and interactions as they do with Ratchet and Clank. Like that is okay. But when you use something that doesn't work or it just feels clunky, and then you latch it on to every other game, or you make every other game feel like that, like yeah, Microsoft has had that with Halo Infinite, with the Far Cry feel to it. But like Far Cry in itself, after 5, I was like, okay, this is fine. And then I saw like one Carl Esposito one from a few years ago, Far Cry 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one was very much so rushed, and nothing felt good with the AI compared to like the 5th one, which was arguably probably the best recent one.
The corporatization of games is what is going to kill it.
Yes.
These corporate companies are so obsessed with trying to push out to try and hit financial goals that they've lost the true art of developing a project that you have heart into. Double A gaming is where I think the best market is becoming established anymore. I started to notice this in 2019 with Remedy's Control. I then have since, in Game of the Years past, mentioned It Takes Two. Though it's under a AAA publisher, Hazelight is a much smaller studio inside of that EA umbrella. So they kind of operate more in a AA atmosphere.
They also don't try too much.
Oh, but they also make, and this is what I also love about Split Fiction. They incorporate elements of every single type of game that you know of, and they do it in a way that it's not boring or confusing.
Right. Which is how it should be.
And it feels like every single piece of it is a variety. I'm there with the homie, and we're laughing through a whole segment of a game because of how they decided to design it.
I loved the book guy from It Takes Two, the one that's like the main host. He's hilarious. Just the way he dances and other things. Like he'll like say something out of the blue, and you're just like, "Should I be laughing at that? Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna laugh at it anyways."
It's different. It is different because what these smaller studios and smaller budgets are doing are coming up with better design. They're designing things better than what these corporate crunch fests are doing. Don't get me wrong. There are still high-end AAA studios that still do a great job and know not to rush greatness. But Ubisoft is one of the biggest culprits of crunch.
And imagine if you're a nice guy and you want a Splinter Cell game, and it turns out they're probably not going to make one for the longest time running, and it hasn't been for like another 14 years or so. I think the last one was like 2012.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time. And
shout out Longaluca.
We feel your pain, Lob, with Ubisoft and not making Splinter Cell, but we kind of need them to reform before really showing what they can do with a Splinter Cell game.
Yep.
Their reform needs to go on at Ubisoft before Splinter Cell ever gets made again.
Yep. All right. So power rankings.
Yes.
This week we have
to the power rank. Well, this week I'm going to preface this with this past week, the ESPYs were held. The 2025 ESPYs were held. So, for our category for our power rankings this week is what we thought were some of the top award show host performances or different like things that a host did. And we have a couple of them. We have one that is the same, and the rest are very, very different.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to start at number 5, which is the matcher. This year's ESPYs with Shane Gillis.
I
definitely-
naturally like Shane Gillis. That's why I put him so high on my list, but go ahead, sorry.
I think Shane Gillis is one of those comedians that his delivery is a little deadpan for my liking, but it was actually his jokes landed. Just his delivery is his delivery at times can be maybe a little confusing in execution for what I see of it. But it's not like Kevin Hart where he tries way too hard.
Yeah.
Where are you at with number 5 on this, Ruckus?
Number 5, I have Seth MacFarlane, the god that made Family Guy. He he hosted the Oscars in 2013, and I just thought it would be like one of those things where it would be a different thing on the board than what you have, but also I think Seth MacFarlane's a funny dude. Yeah, he might have some very crude opinions and or things that he puts on a show, but it's late night TV. If you're gonna complain, go to bed.
All right, for me, number 4, I put the D-O-double-G here with Snoop Dogg and hosting the 2025 NFL Honors. I mean, the segment in Bringing in Jelly Roll, where he's wearing one jersey and Jelly Roll is in another, and the different things that Snoop Dogg can do. Like, he is just a great host for pretty much a sport-related thing that you could have and keep it as hip-hop as you possibly can. So, yeah, I'm putting Snoop Dogg at number 4 for me.
Number 4, I have Adam Sandler from the 38th People's Choice Awards, where he kind of talks like Bobby Boucher from Waterboy. In general, I like Adam Sandler. That's why I have him at number 4. Number 3, I have Shane Gillis from the 2025 ESPYs. I just think his jokes were probably more just fresh in my head, and also I just think for the time he knocked it out of the park as far as the SB jokes. A lot of people probably had different like responses to all those jokes, but I just think it was flat out funny. It's for the times. 2025 has been crazy.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's here, and everybody is in
foul trouble. That was one of the funniest ones. Besides Caitlin Clark, where he was like, me and Caitlin Clark have a lot of common. We both hit a lot of threes.
Like in the Midwest, like we're from the Midwest, and oh my goodness. Number 3 for me, I gotta go with the man behind Omaha Productions, Peyton Manning, and the 2017 ESPYs. It's like Peyton Manning is a very, like, you could tell that he's like a very, like his delivery just is something. It's almost like Gillis in a way, so I kind of can't really pan it too much.
Like,
but at the
Peyton.
same time, it's like Peyton is
Peyton.
He's just marketable in that way.
Peyton. Peyton. Yes, Peyton.
It works. And then number 2 for me, yeah, it may seem like he's an invisible dude, but you could tell that his performance at the 2016 ESPYs was really good. His name is John Cena.
If only the CEO guy that was in the Coldplay crowd could have been John Cena for one moment.
Shut up. But yeah, John Cena talks about the parallels of sports in the WWE and kind of some certain elements of that in his opening monologue, and it was fun. Like, it is funny because John Cena, of course, has that good over the top delivery at times to kind of make it all make sense, but that's also in his WWE type of character. Like, if you've even seen some of John Cena's funny moments in WWE, he can get at it.
Dear Lord,
Let
I
you go.
pray for that prom date that John Cena was going with, because she did not see him coming at all. All right, so
Get out.
number 2, I have Ricky Gervais from the Golden Globes in 2020. He talked about Baby Yoda in his speech, but also other different things that were happening at the time that were very controversial, which I pretty much agree with. Number 1, I'll go Chris Rock 2016 at the Oscars, because Chris Rock is probably one of the funniest people I listen to besides Dave Chappelle or Ron White or really Tom Segura or any of those comedians. Mark Norman's one of my favorites so far, but Chris Rock makes the bill at number 1. What do you got?
For me, number 1, I went back to 2008 with Justin Timberlake in the 2008 ESPYs. The reason why, his whole Why I Love Sports performance, he basically will cross every single genre of music in the performance, perform it to such effectiveness, and still have jokes that are not as very off color about certain things, about the certain elements that went on, and it all worked. Like, he had a, like, some of the notable examples. He had like a very jazz type segment. He went country music in doing the Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson, hip hop with Tiger Woods and Candace Parker, reggae with the Paul Pierce. I've hurt my ankle. I mean my knee. Even made fun of the Super Bowl malfunction in 2003 that involved him. So there were different little elements that Timberlake did within the concept of that montage that worked so well. And that is why I put it there.
All right, let's do
And now,
the next one.
yes, and now, as we get to this next point, this is a new type of segment, or really just a new sense of recognition for things. The seal of approval / ringing endorsement. So last year, around the time of Game of the Year, or really, it was earlier this year that I recorded the episode with Lav and Mac, but it was over last year's Game of the Year. I gave a full seal of approval to Balatro as a video game for both Ruckus and I. I knew Ruckus was playing it at a high volume at the time.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it greatly.
I love the combos. It kind of reminds me of Tony Hawk whenever it comes to like the combo points, and then like the sounds at the end where it's like where it goes higher in pitch in the sound with the combos. But anyways,
yeah. But I had a thought of saying, why don't I put this in a sense of form. And the criteria for a seal of approval, both Ruckus and I must have a highly positive review of it. So, things that we currently have at a retroactive seal of approval are Balatro, the Netflix TV shows of quarterback and receiver. So, and then ringing endorsement is an either or, and ringing endorsements are a little more unofficial. The seal of approval does have more officiality to it. Categories that we have are sports moments or things in sports, movies, TV, video games, music, and food and activity. So kind of the normal things that we would come alongside with or would talk about. We have those in this, and we cannot. Food and activity is going to kind of have a little bit more of a loose basis.
Yep.
I almost wanted to put Whataburger. I almost wanted to throw Whataburger because I thought Whataburger was definitely like a surprisingly very good for what it was.
It definitely.
I
to me, the bun of Whataburger feels like a pancake in a sense.
Yeah. So I mean, Whataburger just misses the cut. But we have different things that, as Ruckus will find, if Ruckus is eventually catches up to something that I've already gotten to and has a good, really good positive review of it, we then can put it into the seal of approval.
Yep.
Into the seal of approval phase. So in short, there are a couple of video games that I think Ruckus if Ruckus gets his hands on them or gets an opportunity to play them, that I think will eventually make this list. But it's just a matter of what you got. Food is going to be very subjective for us, as we kind of have to have something in both locations to kind of go with it, because that's mostly for like restaurants and type of ordeals, or stuff that eventually, if I ever make my way to Kansas City, or he makes his way down to the Beltway, we link up, we figure it out.
I got you. All right. Let's go into the next segment for color commentary.
Yep. And speaking of burgers,
big deal, little deal, or nothing
burger.
All right, So the first one, we are going with President Trump threatening to hinder the new stadium deal for the Commanders to return to RFK based on changing the name back to the Redskins.
This is a nothing burger.
Release Epstein files.
You could say that, but this has absolutely no impact, because this has nothing to do with Donald John Trump at all. This has nothing to do with that, because that is more so the politics involving the city of Washington, D.C. Yes, you are a resident currently inside the city, but you are more so there to be the executive branch of the federal government. You have bigger fish to fry than talking about the Commanders and their stadium in RFK. You have bigger fish to fry than that. This should not be a concern to you.
Tom Brady calls Peyton Manning a gift to his NFL career. I think that's a little deal, because they faced off for a long-ass time.
This is a bigger deal than you let. I think this is a pretty big deal, because it kind of gives a sense. I think it gives a sense of humility,
like a challenge.
To Tom Brady, he's saying that, yeah, Peyton Manning being a gift to his NFL career is like, it's like as if he's kind of taking this time, like now that he's out of football for a little bit, to kind of count his blessings, and it's been
Oh
really
shit! You're giving
a
Brady a
friendly
chance to get
rivalry.
back to being a quarterback. That's what you're telling me.
Wait a minute. I never said that Brady wasn't a quarterback.
No, I was
never
saying
said that.
I was saying that you made it almost sound like Tom Brady was gonna come back as quarterback.
No, I wasn't exactly saying that. I was saying like he.
Don't give Mr. Brady any ideas, okay?
Oh, I'm not. I was giving the sense of it's a sense of Tom Brady in a reflective moment now that he's retired, kind of counting the blessings of his career, granted in the form of Super Bowl rings and great rivalries. And really the rivalry between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady is kind of just as friendly as you would think it is anyway. It's just Tom Brady It's Tom Brady kind of talking in a sense of that now Tom Brady is starting to he's kind of trying to start turning around his likability rating with me a little bit with this. I mean, I had high revere for Peyton Manning, but I can respect Tom Brady saying this in a sense that it's a respect to the opponent that he never underestimated. Had the regular season victory in the rivalry, but when it came to the Super Bowl on the line, we know who won that. And that was none other than Peyton Manning.
Peyton. Alright. Bengals director of player personnel, Duke Tobin, blames Shamir Stewart's advisors about his rookie deal not being done as he is the only first round pick not to be signed by the Bengals.
This is, for Shamar Stewart, this is a little deal. For Duke Tobin and kind of the mismanagement that he already is dealing with in completely fumbling the bag with Trey Hendrickson and delaying and having the delays in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins getting their extensions, this is a bigger deal and a bigger criticism of the front office of Cincinnati than Shamar Stewart.
That's where I'm going to make it a big deal for me, is just the fact that they're not paying their players.
Or I would say they are not. Shamar Stewart is basically saying, what I am asking for is not something that hasn't been done for players before. He's not asking for something that hasn't been there. I think he might be. The hard part for Shamar Stewart may be that he could be asking for too much too soon. As in, he could be asking for something that, may be given to a player who's probably earned a little bit more stature. Like, earned a little bit more in the sense of he played for it.
All right, so next two quick. Let's make the next two quick.
Yep. Will Levis done for the season with a shoulder injury, not healing as quickly as what was thought. Cam Ward will be taking over as the Titans starter. Big deal, little deal, or nothing burger?
It'll be a little bit of a deal because we don't know how Cam Ward has played or will play in his professional career as a Tennessee Titan in the NFL. For Will Levis, for his shoulder injury, we'll just have to see how big of a deal that could be as far as progress going forward. It sucks that it wasn't healing as quickly as he would have hoped, but it's better to be safe than sorry with that. I think Cam Ward, again, will do all right. I don't know if he'll be what we think, but we'll just have to see.
I have in Will Levis's case, this is a little deal that could snowball toward a bigger deal for him if Cam Ward does not do well, or if Cam Ward does extremely well. In the sense of if Cam Ward does not do well, it's a big deal for Will Levis because if he recovers well enough after the season is done, he may be able to come back and compete. If Cam Ward does do well, it's a big deal in the sense that Will Levis may have to kind of figure out where his future endeavors are going to be. It's right now a little deal because we know nothing, but this could snowball in either direction for Will Levis. For Cam Ward, it's a big deal in the sense of, OMG, I'm going to be a starting quarterback right away. I got to perform. But he could, over time, turn this into really a little deal. Maybe not quite completely to the point of a nothing burger. But I think for the Titans, it's a little deal that could become a big deal or a nothing burger based on how certain things. It's a little deal, but it's volatile.
Yeah. Next one.
Many teams, notable teams and notable players have not become no-shows in training camp. The big three here that we're going to talk about: Terry McLaurin, Trey Hendrickson, and Micah Parsons.
I feel like both Trey Henderson and Micah Parsons are going to be big deals. As far as Terry McLaurin, I think it's a nothing burger because he had already been signed in the past, and maybe he just got to wait a little bit. But Micah Parsons and Trey, we don't know what their futures will hold. If they go to another team, get traded, or they just let them run for the season. Unless they can't.
For Terry McLaurin, I have it as a little deal. Terry McLaurin, I have little deal because Adam Peters wants to get this thing done. Terry McLaurin wants to get this thing done. It's hard to find that meat in the middle that you have, that Terry McLaurin wants to be paid, but Terry McLaurin is kind of nearing the time of the career where most of the time you're looking for a smaller deal in that receiver because you don't know how much time you truly have left. McLaurin hasn't had a major injury in his career, but there could be some alarm, especially as he's 30. Trey Hendrickson, huge deal. This is a big deal because Cincinnati, as they have already fumbled the bag with Shamar Stewart, they have fumbled the bag even harder on the defensive linemen that they probably should have paid. But Cincinnati, over the last couple of years, has put absolutely zero investment in their defense. No wonder why Joe Burrow last year, and you heard it a lot in quarterback, they score over 30-plus points a game, in a game. But
like Jamar Chase once said, they got beat by them damn elves.
Not necessarily the point I was trying to make, but it's called football. You have to focus on both sides of the game in terms of offense and defense. Have a decent enough focus on special teams to kind of cover your bases. But offense and defense do carry a little bit more of the weight. It's like a 45-45-10 in terms of that. But yet, if you focus on it properly and balance yourself out, it will work out. Micah Parsons, on the other hand, I think I'm also going to say Micah Parsons is on the little deal side, but I think it's more so a little deal in the sense of he's still going to podcast. So it's hard to tell where that's really going to land. It could be a big deal if certain things happen, but we've kind of been saying that about a lot of different things.
All right, and then the last segment. Yes, I skipped that slide. We already kind of made a joke there, or I made a joke there earlier, so we don't need to.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with my sudden dead first, since that's the usual thing. For my stud, I have John Rave hits a home run in his hometown at Wrigley Field. It's very important to him because obviously it's his hometown, but it's also cool at the same time that even though he's a Kansas City Royal, he got to hit a home run at the opponent Wrigley Field where the Cubs play. My dud is Rafael Devers. Goes to play first base anyways, but not for the Red Sox. He decides, sure, fuck it, why not? I'll play first base for the Giants. But those Red Sox, on the other hand, they're mean and they're cruel, and they give me a shit ton of money to not do what I want. That's pretty much the sum up of Devers.
Yeah. Okay, so my stud is the Buffalo Bills for bringing the red helmets back to Highmark for the last hurrah before changing stadiums. They will be playing against the Jets in Week 18 with the red helmets for the last time at Highmark Stadium. I personally love this, the Buffalo Bills, and bringing back the red helmets, because if you want to talk about the Premier Bills, the helmets were red, not white. The dud for me is another uniform issue. The Pittsburgh Steelers for choosing to bring back another attempt at the horrendous Bumblebee uniform. And they made it look even worse. If you really look at it, the first thought, if you know your sports around, is what in the Borussia Dortmund? Because it looks like a worse version of that kit, of some of the kits that team had.
It looks like a football jersey, a European football jersey, that is.
Yeah. The helmet is the only redeeming quality of this concept.
Yes.
The pants are the khaki pants, I could care less. But that jersey, no. I don't even know why they would even try that. And I'm gonna go ahead and take us out today.
Hold on. I made a coaster that has our logo on it. If you want one, let me know. But if not, that's okay. But yeah, I made these and they're pretty damn cool. Anyways, go ahead, Spennis. That was all I had.
Yep. Well, that will do it for episode number 149 of the Ruckus and the Menace podcast. We have next episode's 150, so we know it's going to have something good. I'm Spennis the Menace.
And I am Ruckus. Never, not, ever, always causing a ruckus. And we do what we want. Deuces.
Yep, deuces.